So, hey guys, today we're going to be looking at some of Snake Eyes' bad attributes. So, noticeably, Snake Eyes has two really bad attributes actually. So, first off, you have uh no really super good main deck monsters. So, by that, of course, I mean we have at best like Flatbirch. So, 3k attack, 2.5k defense. So, normally this isn't that big of an issue, but well, yeah, well, we'll get there. So, normally, this isn't that big of an issue, but let's say, for example, we have Arrival. So if we have Arrival at Ignister with 4,000 attack points, there's nothing in your main or extra deck, for the most part, that can actually beat the Arrival Cyberse at Ignister. You only have, realistically, two options to deal with Arrival. So first, you have simply making Access Code have higher attack points than the Arrival. Assuming you were playing a Cyberse deck, however, you would have the Cyberse card in the graveyard. I believe it was like Danmari at Ignister or something like that. So it would be in the graveyard, and it's kind of like an Omni negate. So you can just use that to negate access code before it can realistically do anything, and its attack will go back down to 2.3k, and that's access code dealt with. And if your opponent plays Underworld Goddess, that can technically out rival as well. And that's about it. So if you were to want to out a rival, you would need the extra deck to do it, which kind of sucks for certain reasons, but this also brings more justification to be playing something like a Pearly against this. If it weren't like completely brutalized, we're looking at like one copy of Delicious Memory. So not super consistent necessarily to maybe go into Expertly Noir. I honestly don't know why they killed Pearly this hard, and why they're also working on Branded this hard, because noticeably Branded actually has a decent matchup into Snake Eye, being able to play like Fallen Elbaz, Super Poly, and Bestials, all of which do like fine into Snake Eye. It's not like a one-sided curb stomp or anything, but it for sure helps. And they should have a decent ability of both going first and second into Snake Eye. Shouldn't be too problematic. It is annoying that Subversion can like just put Mirror Jade into your back row, which is something you can't really super easily deal with. But aside from that, you're mostly doing good, I think. So we're going to look at decks that can basically abuse Snake Eye here. So this won't necessarily be for going second, this is just for going first. And bonus points, I suppose, if the strategy also works against other decks in general, which the first one, I suppose, does. So we're focusing on the idea of a rival or just some big unaffected monster. Doesn't really super matter what monster we're going with, but we're going to start off with some dinosaurs. So we're going to grab not a dinosaur to start. So True King, Lithosagum. Let's grab 3 copies of this, I guess. And while we're at it, let's also grab a copy of the field spell, Dragonic Diagram. So Dragonic Diagram, pretty lit. And then we'll go Soul Eating Oviraptor. We'll grab 3 copies of this. We'll grab Miscellaneousaurus. And then we'll grab Fossil Dig, which is pretty insanely cracked. Just not like better than Rhoda. Not hard ones per turn, you know? Just add a level 6 or lower dinosaur monster from your deck to your hand. Kinda disgusting card, honestly. But alright. Next, we'll need the baby, so Baby Sarah, and then Petite Ranodon. So, clear this, and then we'll grab some copies of Petite while we're here. We'll just grab 3 just because. And this is already fairly consistent for us to get into True King with Sagum. We could probably increase the consistency of getting into Lithosagum a bit more, but essentially what we're going to do here is pretty simple. We're going to use the effect of True King Lithosagum, and this will be our combo starter. So destroy 2 other monsters in your hand and or face-up field, including an earth monster. And if you do, special summon this card, and if you do that, and both destroyed monsters were earth, so what we're mostly going to be looking to destroy are like 2 copies of Baby Sarah or Petite Ranodon, and that will trigger that effect of Lithosagum. So if it is the case that they were both Earth, you can look at your opponent's extra deck and banish up to 3 monsters from it with different names. If this card is destroyed by card effect, you can special summon 1 non-Earth farm monster from your graveyard, so that effect doesn't matter. And this is hard once per turn. But essentially what we're going to do is we're going to banish from our opponent's extra deck a copy of Access Code. If our opponent's playing Snake Eye anyways, it's going to be Access Code, Amblo Whale, and Underworld Goddess if they happen to be playing Goddess. So essentially stuff like that. And now the game is unwinnable. There is 0 ways for the rival Cybers at Ignister to ever get beaten. So it's essentially a guaranteed win at this point in time, right? What is this? Deep Sea Repetiteur. Never seen this card in my life. Okay, anyways. Continuing on. If we want to go for Arrival, I think we can probably make Arrival. So let's go check out the scrap cards. We have Scrap Raptor. Okay. We have Scrap Chimera. You can add 1 Scrap Factory or 1 non-tuner scrap monster for your deck to your hand. So it doesn't super matter. And then we'll also grab the fridge, just because. And we also need a copy of Scrap Wyvern. So basic idea for Scrap Raptor is that this is a dinosaur, so it can be summoned off of Baby Ceratosaurus or Petite Ranodon, and then the Scrap Wyvern can pop your Baby Sarah or Petite Ranodons. And while we're at it, Sprite Elf. In fact, what is interesting is we can technically also make Sprite Elf using whatever, and then just bring back Scrap Wyvern if we need to. But it's not that hard. All we have to do is a little bit of link climbing to make Arrival at at least 3k. We'll have to do a little bit more. It's a little harder, but I'm pretty sure we can manage. So then there is also Giant Rex, and then we have so Giant Rex is also Earth, which is handy, I suppose. Then while we're here, might as well put in like copies of Ash Blossom, Called By, and then Anima Adorned is also pretty important. So we'll grab 2 copies of Anima, and then we'll grab 2 copies of Double Evolution Pill. We'll grab Ultimate Tyranno, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno over here. So 2 copies of that should be like alright. And the rest of the slots I don't think matter that much, but should grab like maybe 3 copies of Lost World. And sure, this for the most part will work. So it's just the extra deck we kind of have to figure out a little bit, but yeah. If we do draw 5 sample cards now, we sadly did not get a hand with what we wanted. So this hand isn't completely bricked, it still has plays, but whatever. Alright, and here we have a hand that completely works. True King Lithosagum will pop Baby Sarah, and then Petite Ranodon. And then this allows us to special summon our copy of Soul Eating Oviraptor. And as well as that, we can also do Scrap Raptor, and we can do like Soul Eating Oviraptor, add Miscellaneousaurus. And we can even summon back Baby Ceratosaurus. But the ideal summons we should do off of Baby Ceratosaurus and Petite Ranodon are Baby Ceratosaurus, summon Baby Ceratosaurus, Petite Ranodon summoning Soul Eating Oviraptor. And then Soul Eating Oviraptor can add like Miscellaneousaurus or something. And then we can pop Baby Ceratosaurus to summon back Baby Ceratosaurus, and that's the point where we would probably summon Scrap Raptor And then at this point in time, we could just go ahead and make like a spray elf. Doesn't super matter. But also, because we summon True King Lithosagam, we could banish 3 cards from our opponent's extra deck. Pretty simple. And they will have no out to like a 4K arrival, which is not super hard to make from this point. If we do like a scrap combo again, like we can just keep summoning like babies and like Petite Ranodon. Essentially, right now we have like one more copy of Baby on the field alongside our copy of Scrap Raptor and Soul Eating Oviraptor, and we still have our normal summon. So if it comes down to it, I guess we can just normal summon Scrap Golem, which is fine, I guess. So the card we're mostly going to be looking at is probably going to be this one. VLAN Hydra, I guess. Or whatever. Let's see if Hydra shows up better. Yeah, here we go. VLAN Hydra. So, gains 300 attack for each monster co-linked to this card. You can target 1 link 3 or lower monster co-linked to this card, tributed, and if you use special summon VLAN tokens equal to the tributed monster's link rating, and then we can only summon monsters with the same link rating as that targeted monster for the rest of this turn. Let's see. So, in this case, if we tribute like a Link 3 monster, we would no longer be able to make Link 3, and we get a bunch of level 1 Cybers tokens. So if we do 3 with V-Line Hydra, so very simple, it's just essentially any 6 monsters, and we tribute a Link 3 for this, we can then use those guys. This will take a bit of extra deck space, but we can use like Link Rebo as 1, Almirage as 1, and then we can use like Link Spider as 1 for the tokens, right? And then Beeline Hydra is light, so we have the attributes of dark, fire, earth, light, making a 4K rival Cybers at Ignister. And of course, if we summon Anima Doran, we can probably summon back Giant Rex and Ultimate Conductor Tyranno if we also summon them, which we probably will end up doing. And yeah, that'll just work pretty swell, right? So if we just look at it, just not from this gimmicky point of view where it's essentially a meme, where we're banishing our opponent's outs to our like towers. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno actually does decent. Like, assuming we're going first, we're going to be having a better time, I suppose. But assuming we are going first, we can go ahead and use the effect, I guess, of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno to completely rail our opponent. So notably, if we do normal summon Snake Eye Ash, we can allow this as the dinosaur player. So Snake Eye Ash will add Poplar special summon, and at this point, whenever this finishes resolving, we can just simply Book of Eclipse kind of, right? So flip face down, Poplar, and Snake Eye Ash. And then we don't have much to worry about here. And as well as that, Apollosa is somewhat possible to play around with dinosaurs, so I think Dino has a decent matchup. So if we go ahead and activate misc, it has to be during the main phase, sadly, but we can do this pretty quick. Oh, well, it's a shame how it works exactly, but what we can do is normal summon Soul Eating Oviraptor, and then instantly you activate misc, essentially. So Promethean Princess wouldn't trigger off of that. So kind of gimmicky, but Apollosa is actually a pretty big issue. So with misc effect, typically with dinosaur, we do want to resolve the effect of misc, specifically the effect to special summon a dinosaur monster from your deck. This is a pretty vital kind of like part of the deck, but if we're already playing True King Lithosagam, it gets a little bit better, I guess. And it becomes a bit more manageable to run over Apollosa with a bunch of these big guys, notably like Pill. If we were to just Pill, it's not that bad. Could be worse. So just imagine we just kill for conductor and our opponent doesn't summon Apo immediately, we just run over everything. Potentially. It's kind of still dicey, of course, going second into Snake Eye with Dino. Because they actually can play around misc. Like, read this card and tell me how any deck plays around this for the most part, right? During the main phase, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. During this main phase, dinosaur monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. You can banish any number of dinosaur monsters from your graveyard, including this card. Special summon one dinosaur monster from your deck with a level equal to the total number of monsters banished to activate this effect, but destroy it during the end phase. How in the world do you beat like a deck with a tool this strong and essentially 6 copies of it? Snake Eye can do it because of Appaloosa. Like, bro, what? That's crazy, I guess. But yeah, this is idea number one, and this works pretty well, I guess, right? So, how do you out a 4K arrival? You main deck Kaiju's? No, you don't. Kurikara outs this? Not really. It's not gonna happen. So yeah, arrival, big funny. All right. So that's one way to go about it. But I mean, just in general, you also have the option of using True King Lithosagam in a less funny way. If we were to just simply banish Promethean Princess, right, that's already a lot gone. We could banish Sheeta if we wanted. So there's that option gone. And most of the extra deck is actually one of. So to stop your opponent from going into like Baron and stuff, for the third banish, we could just simply do like Formula Synchron and or not Formula Synchron. Uh, we can get rid of. Wait, is it Formula Synchron? Wait, it is Formula Synchron. I'm so tired right now. Damn. So yeah, we can just banish Formula Synchron, and then this will stop our opponent from going into Baron. They might be able to go into Warlord Savage, but I mean, it won't be a big deal against this, right? So, I mean, crushing them going first here, not really that hard. So let's move on to gimmick number 2. So, True King Lithosagam clearly can hurt a lot of decks, and this is no exception. So next, we're going to simply grab some virus cards. So let's grab specifically, I believe we want Full Force Virus and Deck Devastation Virus. I guess Eradicator is like alright as a card too, but whatever. If we look at Snake Eye, the stat line is 800, 1000, 900, 200, 0, 2100, 3000, 2500, 700, 200, and then if we go look at Bellstar, Bellstar's stat line is 2.5k, 2k. So this effect is destroy all those monsters with 1500 or less defense. This one is destroy all those monsters with 1500 or less attack. This one is just destroy all spells or traps in your opponent's hand. So wasn't there another virus actually as well if we actually cared for it? Uh, this doesn't matter. Okay, not this one. Is it this one? Oh, rush card virus. Tribute one dark monster with or less attack. Look at your opponent's hand and all wants to take control, and if you do, destroy the monsters among them with 1.5k or more attack, then your opponent can destroy up to 3 monsters with 1500 or more attack in their deck. So honestly, this effect, it doesn't matter. It doesn't help, like, uh, Snake Eyes at all. Like, what exactly are you going to destroy from your deck? So, somehow, push cards seems fine. This is the card I was looking for. But I believe the one that is more worth playing is not Full Force, but it's actually Deck Dev, because cards like Ash Blossom, Joy Spring have 1.8k defense, but 0 attack. So Deck Devastation will get rid of or hand traps in general, I believe. So this is more worth running. But essentially just, even if we did Layer of Darkness, that would be fine. How are you going to remove Layer of Darkness? You don't really have much in the way of back row removal. And in general, even if we used our own stuff, it should be fine. Like for us to just gimmick out some big guys to tribute. If we do just, for example, Crush Card Virus, this isn't enough because technically they might still have spells. So if we do Eradicator Epidemic Virus, declare a spell, and then Crush Card Virus, or not Crush Card Virus, Deck Devastation Virus, that is probably most of our opponents, like, just hand completely gutted, and they'll be left out to dry with nothing, essentially. So Diabellstar doesn't work unless you have something to send. Noticeably, all the cards that are added to the hand are not affected by the virus's condition to, like, destroy. If you did, however, activate the effect of Seeker Sinful Spoils to draw, if you did draw a monster, like, that meets the conditions for deck devastation, or if you drew like a spell and I Eradicator declare a spell, those would be destroyed. So in a somewhat ideal world for us, we might activate Crush Card Virus, Deck Devastation Virus, and Eradicator Epidemic Virus all on the same turn. And then that would destroy our opponent. Boom, bop, pow. Everything gets popped. But also another noticeable thing, I guess, that's worth mentioning is Flamberge does have somewhat of an annoying effect. Flamberge can actually put just any monster face up on either field or in either graveyard, place it face up in its owner's spawn trap zone, meaning that this can somewhat deal with like some boss monsters and some like points of interaction. So that is a little bit annoying. Except if you have literally a single monster negate is all you need for this, though. If you have a single monster negate, that's pretty much Flamberge dealt with, or just any point of like removal, because this is not a quick effect, this is an ignition. So this also opens this. So if we just scythe block our opponent, they only have Flamberge left, and they don't really have many points of interaction. Some people do play Subversion as well, so after you deal with just essentially Subversion as well as the Flamberge, you're fine. In an ideal world, though, you'll just have some kind of banish effect or return effect to just remove Flamberge to make sure it doesn't hit the graveyard. Not that that super matters, but it'll save you like effort in the long run, I think, to banish like a Flamberge your opponent summons. And then like some way to maybe deal with Subversion, ideally not negate activation but negate effect, so it can't be recycled. This is just a whole nother option, but essentially all of your main deck monsters kind of suck ass, and you don't have good options in general for just main deck plays, but which is a noticeable kind of weakness, and you don't have a super good way to deal with Scythe either. So easy line would just be Degda, Verte. Verte effect, summon BPE, and then for the most part, you're just going to be solid. Your opponent doesn't have a whole lot they can do. The only thing you have to look out for specifically then is Flamberge and the field spell. So Flamberge can put DP as like your back row, and then the field spell can summon DP to your opponent's field. So that's the only like somewhat issue that exists, but I don't think like Pistols are really going to be played with Snake Eye or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about this, but this is primarily the reason why Verte summoned DP and then like Dagda wasn't being played anymore. It was just this specifically. If our opponent has a Bestial, they can easily just banish Scythe and also banish DP, which makes this entire line bad. But against Snake Eyes, you don't have to really worry about Bestial, so this line becomes much more viable once again. And it's just another option that's once again available. So if you were summoning for Alt-Out Ash, you might have these cards already, at least like Verte and TP, so it might be worth a shot. Might be worth looking at, and you also get some bodies for the next turn to maybe make access code or something with your copy of like Denier and Malicious that you could send, or whatever else you want to send. Dash or Denier also fine in general, not a super big deal. And just in general, uh, DP is still a pretty strong card, and your opponent, like Snake Eye, is somewhat vulnerable. Like at certain points, there are certain things that can do quite a bit of damage, I'd say. So in terms of the one card combo, any point of interaction will be able to stop like the one card combo at least, right? It's not a disgusting one card combo in the same way that Super Heavy Samurai has a disgusting like kind of combo where only Troll can stop it, right? So notably, if we go to Super Heavy instead, Super Heavy, normal, summon, um, where is it? Is it not limited yet? Oh, there it is. Wow, I can for sure get this 20 extra rare card points that I definitely need. But anyways, normal summon, Super Heavy, Samurai, Soul Piercer, Link off for Scarecrow, activate Scarecrow to discard like whatever card, doesn't super matter. Summon back Soul Piercer, and then you can summon back, or you can summon another copy of Scarecrow if you wanted. But whatever, that's essentially 2 searches, and you only need to resolve the one in order to do your combo. So like just resolve one Soul Piercer effect to like grab Wakushi, and then from there you have combo. So this one card combo of normal summon Soul Piercer actually can tank like pretty much any hand trap because of this. Just a single hand trap though. Kinda in the same way that well, not exactly this, but close to, well, actually a bit better than circular to an extent. So that's a bit annoying. But yeah, with Diabell Star, the one card combo of just like, well, just all of your one card combos in general can die to one interruption. So if we, for example, do Ghost Ogre, that would be enough to stop a one card combo. If we do Imperm, Effect Veiler, Ash Blossom, just all of those would stop it. Your opponent, if they have an extender though, of course they can keep on playing, but just in general, just one card is enough to stop Diabell Star, and that also includes like just pieces of interaction as well. Like depending on your opponent's exact hand, if we just have DPE, we can just win with only DPE. We pop the right card. So for example, if we are looking at Diabell Star and assuming our opponent has no like Snake Eyes, the normal summon, activate Diabell Star, okay, setting Snake Eyes card. Assuming they set original Sinful Wills, let's assume they have no normal summons. Pop the Diabell Star, and that would be enough. Or if they have a normal summon, but it's not like a relevant normal summon as well, we can also just pop the back row, and then Diabell Star does nothing on the field by itself. So just a decent amount of removal would do the job. And it kind of just would work, and it's fine in general, right? Noticeably, we could even do something like just Pure Punk. Pure Punk would make this very easy. We can just return everything to our opponent's hand, and we're good. But despite being like all these one card combos and stuff, you still need cards to send, which is why the virus cards are going to be pretty decent. And with Lair of Darkness, we can also tribute like a Diabell Star for one of these effects, which is an interesting idea. But in general, I don't think that super matters. But I mean, like maybe in an ideal world, our opponent starts by special summoning Diabell Star, and we have Lair of Darkness, plus deck Devastation. Then we just uh, tribute our opponent's Diabell Star, and then pop every single one of their Snake Eye monsters, and they don't have a normal summon or anything, and there's no real like extension that can be done, aside from specifically having like original Sinful Spoils. But they don't have a card to normal summon after we resolve deck Devastation, and they also don't have the Diabell Star to tribute. So that's kind of the idea. Book of Moon type effects are also going to be like decent. Like if you were to Book of Eclipse, noticeably you cannot send face down cards. You have to send like face up cards for these effects. So here you can send one card from your hand or field to the graveyard with Diabell Star, but that doesn't super matter. We look at original Sinful Spoils. This says send one other face-up card you control to the graveyard, and then if we go through all of these guys, it will say send face-up card. Right? You can target one fire monster in your graveyard. On effect, okay. Where's this actually? Does probably not have that effect? I guess not. Okay. Send 2 face-up cards you control to the graveyard, including this card. Right? So, yeah. Send 2 face-up cards you control to the graveyard. Send 2 face-up cards you control to the graveyard. So if they're face down, their blocking zones can't be used to link summon, and can't be summoned back by either Oak or Flamberge. So a pretty useful form of removal, I guess, or interaction, being just flipping your opponent's like monsters. So yeah, all of this works fairly alright. So yeah, these were just a few like gimmicky ideas that I had for this, but essentially what we're going to be looking at is not going to be this. Unfortunately, they're too low level for this, but like if a level 4 or higher monster is normally special summon, change it to face down defense position. So Ghostrick Neko Musume it just doesn't work. But I mean, if you did Ghostrick Scare, that would work, I guess. And then we have Ghostrick Knight, which would stop our opponent from flipping their monsters back face up. So unironically, Ghostrick could beat Snake Eye, assuming Ghostrick is going first. But I don't even know what Ghostrick does going second, so I don't know. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. And hopefully this was helpful in helping you guys come up with some strategies to deal with Snake Eye. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.